Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy Nate here, and hey, guess what? Nate Talks is back. That is right, guys. We are back. It only took about, about 2 years in the making to bring Nate Talks back. I know, guys. Hey, it was just so much of a high demand of people wanting it back, But hey, we are back. Now I know what you all are thinking. What's you doing back here, Let me just give you guys some explanation. So, I started making these Nate Talk videos back during my freshman year of college, I was making a lot of new friends, doing a lot of fun stuff, and I thought, hey, let's documentize this, let's make a bunch of videos, and let's put it on YouTube. And, for a while, yeah, that was fun, but, as time progresses, well, I guess you could blame a lot of things, like, yeah, as get more into your education, you don't really have as much time to make these videos, and yeah, that is one aspect of it. But honestly, if I'm really just kind of looking back on some of the reasons, on like the main reason why I stopped making Nate Talk videos, I probably would say that the main reason would be that I was just kind of getting bored with doing the same old stuff over and over again, just taking little videos of fun times with friends, posting them up here on the web, and yeah, it was fun, but I felt like, getting kind of old and needed to end. At first, I wasn't fully thinking about, just kind of ending the channel, and wanted to get back into doing these kind of videos, but I also wanted to really rethink what are these videos really going to be about, what am I going to be doing with these videos. And honestly, it did take a little bit of time to figure out what I want to do now, a bit of soul searching, but kind of just looking into myself, thinking about myself. Really, if you know me, if you truly do deeply know me, one thing you will know about me, I am a big lover of movies. I am a sci-fi nerd, but if you know me even more, you will see that I am a big collector. And funny thing is, this ain't even half of what I've collected over the years. Well, guys, there you have it. I am a movie lover. I am a superhero and sci-fi fanatic, Star Wars, Harry Potter, the whole shebang. And most of all, I am a big collector. Trust me, if you know me and you have seen my Lego collection, mostly the Avengers Tower from 2023, such an amazing set, you will know that I am a big collector. And really, I really want to lean more into this side of me going forward with bring back the channel, guys. I want to give action figure and Lego reviews, give my thoughts on some of the latest movie releases, and also kind of just movies I honestly just love from the past. And I also want to really kind of give some updates and some news about like what's going on within like the movie world and the superhero world right now, like some new casting choices or maybe some executive decision within Marvel, DC, all of it. And kind of just want to really let you guys know what's going on within this world. So yeah, that's really what I want to do with these videos going forward. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Another thing I want to talk about is the name. Like at first I was thinking about changing the name, but then after talking to my good old buddy Michael Olson, he kind of just really showed me just kind of how iconic this name is, Nate Talks, classic, iconic. Why would we want to change it? And we're not going to change it, but we're just going to add a little something to the title. So you know what? Let me just shut up and show you guys our new intro. It's pretty cool. Nate Talker, I'm a Nate Talker. Nate Talker, I'm a Nate Talker. There you have it, guys. Nate Talks, movies and beyond. Now I know you guys are wondering this, and yes, I did come up to that part of the title, movies and beyond, right after I saw Toy Story 5. I just thought it sounded cool. Now, don't tell Disney. That could get us canceled. And we just got back, so shh. So sorry, guys. Sorry about us talking. I'm just so happy to be back, Who would have thought it would happen? I cannot think of a better time to be releasing my first video in over 2 years, because by the time I'm releasing this video, it is going to be Spider-Man Day. Spider-Man Day is a little bit extra special this year, guys, because Spider-Man Brand New Day just dropped in theaters this weekend. And I gotta say, guys, it is so good. I got to see it on Wednesday before, the general public, because they were only doing an early screening for people who are Amazon Prime members. So yeah, I got to go to that, and it was so good. There's so many things to love about the movie. The fighting sequences, getting to see Punisher and Hulk in the film. But honestly, I'd probably say my favorite thing overall probably was Peter's own little interpersonal journey that he went on through in this film, just kind of dealing with his own issues, both like superpower and just emotional issues, as well as just dealing with some of his relationships. So yeah, just so good. I honestly could go on for forever talking about this film, but I'm going to save that for another episode coming in the future. Spoiler alert, Sadie Sink is... So yeah, no, I will not be talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day and my own personal thoughts on it. No, today I'm going to be doing my first ever action figure review. And what better figure to start off with than my favorite Spider-Man figure that I have, which is Tom Holland's final swing suit from the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, which is made by Marvel Legends. Now, I will be honest, I only got 3 Spider-Man figures. I got this one, I also had to get the other 2 from that way, which is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man figure, and, of course, the OG, Tobey... Oh, my bad. There we go. Had to obviously get both Andrew and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man figure, which, I love the OG. Now, I do love these figures, all 3 of them, they're great. Now, suit-wise, sorry Toby, here's just the original, but it was also back when, we were still refining how to make a good super suit, so honestly, yeah, sorry, yours is kind of out of the running. As for Andrew's, personally for the longest time, that was my favorite Spider-Man suit, because, it has great colors, great texture, and I love, that they do so good on making the spider emblem both on the front and the back of the suit. This suit right here. But obviously at the end of the day, I also gotta give it to Tom's final swing suit, because I just really do love the colors. I love the shade of red and blue that they went with for this figure, because I feel like it really does capture that bright comic-y look that I also do love. Now, as for the rest of Tom Holland suits that we see throughout the MCU, well, obviously I'm not going to talk about that trashy one that he ended up making himself before Tony Stark gave him a way better suit. And that was a really great suit. And some of the others were too, I really do love the Iron Spider suit that Tony made him. I do kind of like them all. They're cool, but one biggest problem I don't like them as much as this suit, because the first suit Tony made for him, as well as some of the other suits. Honestly, at the end of No Way Home, I just love seeing that suit, as well as kind of first time we kind of see him jumping out of the window in that suit. We see the fabrics and that went into building that suit. We see him buy a sewing machine, which I honestly do love. Toby obviously sewed his suit, Andrew obviously sewed his suit, so it was kind of nice seeing Tom Holland for the first time make his suit. Just the idea of his character doing it, I love. And as for, kind of the suit that we see him in Brand New Day, they are similar to this one, but they are kind of different. They're both great suits, but honestly, personally, I kind of would rather have seen him in a full movie in this original suit. I feel like they were kind of copying a bit too much compared to Andrew's suit in the second movie. Now, honestly, just kind of moving on, I really do kind of want to get into more specific details, as well as the articulation that I really do love about this figure. Now, I gotta say that Marvel Legends really did cook with this one. One thing that automatically sticks out to me compared to the other Tom Holland Spider-Man figures that we see in movies, the big thing that really mostly sticks out to me when I first see this one is the fact that you can see that black webbing stitched into the suit. All the other Spider figures, you don't see that black webbing. So that is one big thing that I do love about this figure. It's just really cool. Kind of just another thing that I just do love about this figure and the suit is that spider logo. And the other suits that we see before this suit from Tom, You know, like obviously the Spider logo is different. I didn't mind that at first. I mean, it was okay just because, you know, we are trying to make like a different Spider-Man film, kind of differentiate between this Peter and the other Peters. But, you know, I gotta say, this is definitely an upgrade. I love it. We probably did come up with that new Spider-Man logo after seeing the other Peter's logos. It kind of does look more like comic accurate. I just gotta say, I do love that. Now, like I say, you know, I do love a lot more of the stitching. Gotta say, like on Spider-Man's arms, kind of in the first Tom Holland suit that we see, you know, he does have that red and those web stitching on the suit in his original Tony Stark suit. I kind of say I like this better in Tony Stark's original suit that I made for him. There's like these little black areas, which, you know, was kind of alright given the fact that Tony made for him. But, you know, I kind of just like that in this figure in the film that they went with more of this classic look. And I gotta say that Marvel Legends really did do a good job on capturing that bit on the arms. Moving on to the back, I gotta say, like that red spider logo that we see on the back, I just gotta say I love that one. Movie wise, honestly, like personally, maybe my favorite one might honestly still be Andrew's when it comes to that red spider logo on the back of the suit, but I'd say this one is definitely second place. Looks a lot better than obviously, you know, that first Tony Stark suit Peter had. What kind of say with that one from the Tony Stark suit that it kind of does look maybe like cartoonish or comic accurate somewhat, but I just gotta say when it comes to movies, I prefer something like this. It just looks a lot cooler. Now before I get into this one, you buy this figure, it not only comes with the Spider-Man mask head, but it also comes with a Tom Holland head, which I really do love. Now unfortunately, due to some moving, I don't have that one on me right now. That's in storage along with his 4 other hands that he has, but we'll get on to that later. But just focus on this mask, guys. I gotta say, I do love this one. I will say kind of just the way that the head was made, I will admit, kind of does kind of look like somewhat like, I don't know, a basketball, but other than that, just kind of like the head shape. I gotta say that design though, it's great, you know, like the webbing, like as you say, you can see the webbing, and I gotta say those eyes are really great. I mean, it basically looks like his eyes that he has on any of the other suits, but still gotta say, you do love how those eyes look. Now, kind of moving on onto the legs. Now, I will say this, Marvel Legends did make this. One thing I kind of don't like is that, like, compared to, you know, like when we see this suit in the end of No Way Home, around like leg areas and other blue portions of the suit, there's somewhat like more like lining details that you can see, and really when they were making this figure, they really didn't go that direction to include those lining details. They kind of just basically got that solid blue. But I will say though that I really kind of do like the definition in these leg muscles. Kind of just see right here. I love like just the fact that when making this figure, they really did include those muscles, and honestly, it really does make that look more like Tom, as well as just kind of give that comic look and feel, because obviously if you kind of read some of the comics, even early comics, you really can see those leg muscles of Spider-Man's in those early comics. So yeah, I really do like that. Yeah, let's talk about them boots. I gotta say, man, these are probably somewhat of my favorite boots with some of Spider-Man's old suit. Like figure-wise, obviously, like you really want to see that, like, you know, that black line webbing on the earlier figures. So I just really do love that they do that. You know, like next thing I kind of want to do is talk about some of the articulations of the suit. Now, before I started making this video, I did do some research on the different kind of joints. So let's honestly take a look at some of this. The head, obviously, like honestly, I feel like most heads usually, honestly, I feel like this is a common joint for heads. Like it kind of has this ball joint, then say you have this kind of area on the figure. Kind of just really got to push that into this joint. Honestly, nothing really new. Now, like with these arms, kind of how they connect to this torso, they have this thing called the butterfly joint. And I honestly do really like that, because if you kind of really look, honestly does allow this upper arm to move a lot, like front and back.
Now, as for kind of like upper and lower arms, this has like I believe it's called the hinge joints. Kind of goes up that much. Honestly, basically all the way, which is pretty nice, as well as kind of just how far it can go up. And basically that far, which is honestly pretty good movement. Now, I honestly do kind of want to talk about this torso. With some figures, kind of around torso areas, you can kind of really only lift with maybe around chest areas. Sometimes it's lower areas and not the chest, but kind of have like these two different points of movement. So where you can move around the upper torso, the chest, and also can go that much far down. Goes that far back, which is cool. I feel like one of my favorite parts has like kind of connecting points around the waist. So really you can really bring that torso, like bend it a lot down. And that's how far that's going to go. That's how far that's going to be going back. That torso, which is honestly pretty cool. Onto legs. I gotta say, like, as for how far you can kick it, there's a lot of movability. I can pull the leg out like that much. Put it back in. Now, as far as it will kick, going like kick forward, like honestly that much. As far as it going to kick back, that much. Now, these are different story. As far as much as they do go back, like they go back, they basically do kick all the way back, which I think is awesome. Now, as for the feet. I will say, like, with some figures, they kind of have this kind of boot swivel on these figures. Don't get that, which honestly I don't think is fully necessary. One thing I did forget to talk about is you do have like these upper leg swivels, but honestly nothing different. Now, the last thing is the shoe swivel. And I gotta say, man, as far as how far you can kick, as it goes forward, to that much. It does go pretty far back, which is cool. It does move. It's running pretty good. Like, that's really all I have on articulation. This figure honestly has some of the best articulation that I've seen in figures, along with like the Toby and Andrew figures that came out in this wave. They also have great articulation, close because they basically have the same articulation, and I do love that. Like, I do think that's really cool. And I really do also think that's kind of necessary for a Spider-Man figure, because this probably is one of the most flexible characters that you're really going to see in comics and movies. So I do think that all these points of articulation, like all this flexibility for the figure, if you want like a figure that can really pose like Spider-Man, I'd say that's really necessary. I would say like legs and feet are kind of small compared to other figures. Getting certain poses right, or like how you want them, is tricky. You really do gotta play around with them a lot, but like once you get that pose, it really does look cool. And I will say, I do definitely say it can do a lot more cool poses compared to other figures that don't have as many points of articulation as these Spider-Man figures have. So I really do love it. Well, guys, that officially brings my first action figure reviews to a close. I know, kind of like going back and looking at some of the footage I've done, like, I know I do need to talk louder, and I'm going to work on that. Like, I was kind of on a time crunch, because by the time I'm releasing this video, it is Spider-Man Day, so I was kind of filming a lot of this the night before, and like, I also have to work today, so I really don't get time to edit this a lot, or like really do any reshoots. Like, I really just did want to get this video out like today, like, because this is a Spider-Man figure, my favorite Spider-Man figure, and it is going to be Spider-Man Day when it comes out. If you have any further comments, some things I could probably do to help make these videos look better, what I talk about, leave a comment in the comment section on each episode. Like, I do want to be serious about these action figure reviews, really go into detail on all the kind of features of each figure, as well as the articulation. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, guys, that's all I gotta say on that. Now, before I close out this video, our first video in forever, I do want to just say, guys, go see Spider-Man Brand New Day. It is so good. It is really a great way to spend Spider-Man Day if you got nothing to do today. So yeah, go watch it.
And like I say, like I really in the next few weeks I really am planning to get a video out where I go further into detail on the movie. And who knows? I might even have a special guest on the show with me to talk about the movie. Well, guys, honestly, that's really all I gotta say. So, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. To close out the show, we gotta go back to the original Nate Talks. We gotta keep this one special thing. And you guys know what it is. Nate out.